What's up, guys? It's Dan. Okay, we're going to talk to you today about unique largemouth and the struggle that I had to catch one and get it to work. So, like I told you before in some of my other videos, I really feel that a lot of the uniques are heavily RNG based. So, what you'll see here is a few different fights with me landing. This is 3 uniques in a matter of about 40 minutes on my stream from yesterday. And you'll see the in-game times that I'm catching them. When it's sunny, it's between 4 and 7 p.m. that you can catch them. But I guess to kind of go over everything that you guys are going to ask of where, when, what, why, how. Okay, so I'm in Florida in the Everglades, and this is the map called the Thickets, which is the middle one in Florida. A lot of people say, hey, just throw it, behind the boat, and that's where you're going to land these uniques in this particular spot. But really, you can catch it anywhere between those pockets of reeds behind the boat, slightly to the right, and you'll see where I cast. There's a few different baits you can use. I've actually heard there's as many as maybe 3 or 4 different ones. I had a lot of success with the blue and white crankbait and also the pumpkin jig. So if you do not have access to it, let's say you're not high enough level yet, there are some DLCs that have these in it. You'd have to check. Basically, the DLCs bypass the level restriction for some of the gears that's used. So that there is the smallest unique largemouth bass I think that's ever been recorded. There may even be trophies that are bigger, but that was the first one I caught. So what I'm using is a crankbait. You guys can see it right there, the 3/0 hooks. And it's really the shallow one that goes down to 3 feet. The retrieve I'm using is really very, very slow. So I have this Bass DLC rod. You don't need a special rod or reel in order to catch these. Really, what I would recommend is having 15-pound fluorocarbon. That I think helps a lot to be able to horse the fish in. Because some of the unique largemouths are tough to get in. But so 15-pound fluorocarbon, the crankbait, I'm using a very slow retrieve, and I'm dragging them through and perpendicular really to across the reeds. And you'll see me make a few different casts on these next couple videos. You can also use the bass jig, and from what I've heard, the yellow spinnerbait works as well, but I cannot confirm that. But I will show you here that I do catch one with the bass jig. So this is really lucky to be able to catch 3 uniques in a matter of like 40 RL minutes. So I don't want you guys to think that this is like super hack or whatever, that I did something crazy, because the day before I fished for what seemed like 3 or 4 hours in this same area and I couldn't trigger a bite. Now primarily I was testing with the green bass jig, and I did not get, which I think it's called pumpkin melon or something. It's the green and black one that's, I think, level 18 required. But I was not able to get these things to bite. And I even thought that it could have been level restricted because I'm only level 17 right now. But it's not. I was able to get him at level 17. And really the big key was the slow retrieve, like you can see that I'm using here. I did catch a peacock bass. I caught a small largemouth. And I caught a couple smaller, 6-pound trophy largemouth as well. So that's within 3 hours of in-game time. So between 4 and 7 p.m. is the peak time when it's sunny. So that's what I fished on stream just to test it and see what I could get. So I fished pretty hard. Just consistently casting for 3 hours straight isn't... it is a game and it's relaxing to an extent. But, bobber fishing is a lot more relaxing than trying to throw lures constantly and make sure your retrieves are right. So... you'll see that when I catch these, the size tends to go from like between 8 and 12 pounds. You do get a fair amount of gold from them. I think it was between I want to say it was between 9 gold and 15 gold is what they were when I ended for the day. But I really was just trying to test to see what baits would work to be able to show you guys. So the blue and white crankbait works. And you'll see the brown jig that I use in the next one works well. 15-pound fluorocarbon kind of allows me to horse them in a little bit more, but I'm sure 12 would work also. It'd just be a much longer fight. But some of the bass do get up to 12 pounds, so it's going to be I mean, it's going to be testing the line for sure. You may break it. You may lose some fish. Just keep that in mind. But the key really is to throw right around those reeds and not directly behind the boat, but rather the reeds or weeds that are sticking up right just diagonal behind the boat. And some advice I've gotten is throw it out as far as you can behind those, allowing you to get more time in the zone to be able to trigger the unique. You can see where I casted, though I didn't need to do that, but so this is the second one. You can see it's almost an hour apart from the last one we got. That one's 11 pounds. I'm a little more proud of that one. There was actually another guy, that actually landed one simultaneously right when I did. So this has become a little more popular of a spot, and I don't know that it post-patch it'll still be in there, but as of today's August 16th, so as of August 16th, it does work. The last one you'll see me, I'll catch with a bass jig. The bass jig's retrieve's a little more complicated, so I'll kind of go into additional detail with that. But with the bass jig routine, what you'll see is stop and go tends to be the easiest to execute and the one that's most consistent, and that's when I was getting most of the bites with the bass jig. So we'll cut over to the bass jig here in a second, and you'll be able to see stop and go tends to be easier to manage, and I don't think that stop and go or lift and drop one way is better than the other, but I do think stop and go is easier to maintain, especially with a fairly decent casting reel like we have here. Again, the rod and the reel really don't matter. You just want to be able to execute the behavior of the presentation that you're trying to execute. I tried twitching, I tried stop and go, I tried lift and drop, I tried almost everything, and it doesn't seem to matter one way or another to be able to catch the uniques. It just seems to, you want to get whatever is easiest for you to be the most consistent with your presentation. So we hook up again with another one here. And again, you can see right where I'm casting. Pretty simple, guys. I mean, it's not rocket science. I'll post in the description down below the times you can catch them. One thing I would recommend if you're trying to farm some XP is, if you're trying to farm XP and you're like level 16, 17 and you're in Florida, fish for the trophy peacock in the morning. Or through midday, and then in the afternoon you can fish for the unique largemouth. So regular peacock or trophy peacock throughout most of the day, and I would say go to uni largemouth about 4 o'clock and fish this until the end of the day, allowing you to kind of maximize the amount of money you're gonna spend. Because for a lot of people, when you get to this level, if you've been buying gear, you're kind of at a bottleneck for money. Either you're at a bottleneck because of your travel expenses or your gear, either one of them. And the best way to maximize, really your fish basket, I think, is to fish for trophy peacock, like in their peak time. Outside of their peak time, use the blue and white crankbait. On the other map that has the log, like to the left of the dock, it's got like a little stick or a log sticking out. Cast your blue and white crankbait through there, reel it diagonally to the left, to your left, towards that direction, and it takes it through a lot of really good zones. I mean, you may pick up some gar or some bowfin, but you're gonna catch a lot of peacocks that way, which will be a fast way to level. So I'll cover that in another video, but for now you can kind of see how long the fight took. I mean, it was a decent fight, which is pretty cool, because really up until the unique largemouth, there isn't a lot of stuff that really tests your gear up until I think level 18, when you start to get trophy muskie and steelhead and some of the other stuff that really does begin to test some of your rod and reels and even your line weights, if you're not catching catfish, that is. So we'll get this one in. I do want to thank you guys for your patience. So hopefully these last 2 videos have helped you. Please let me know in the comments the next fish you want to see. I should be level 18 hopefully by tomorrow, so I'll be able to show you trophy muskie. Let me know what you want to see. I'm happy to post videos. I've been working with a lot of guys in the game and the community that have been really eager to try and help newer players learn and bring players into the game. So let us know what you want to see, and I'll make some videos. I'll record it on stream so we can kind of show you guys how to hopefully get level a little quicker and enjoy the game a little more. So here's the last unique of the night. And you can see I got it just before the peak time ends. The peak time ends at 7 o'clock in game. So that was an 11 pounder. So that was mostly driven by the fact that I think I had such a bad day the day before that the RNG was good to me yesterday. So anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Really appreciate it. I will see you in the next video. And let me know in the comments what kind of Fishing Planet stuff you want to see, what kind of advice you need. And I will see you guys then. Thanks very much. Later.